Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 87 of the Xbox Hall of Gamers podcast. This week I've joined, you'll notice Neo's not here, but I have my wonderful other three-legged guest, Gear.
Welcome and good evening.
This week we're pretty much just going to be us two. We're going to be talking about the Gone with Gold community event. A little bit of news. I wouldn't say there's too much that really stands out. But there's a lot of small bits.
There's a lot of little things.
Yeah, a lot of little things. We'll be talking through community questions and then, just having a good time. If you're listening to this, you might be watching us live on Twitch, which is Twitch at Xbox Hall of Gamers, or on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that nice jazz. Anyway, I'm just going to go straight into the community questions. All right,
let's go for it.
Hey guys, I've really enjoyed the Walking Dead series on Game Pass through xCloud. The touch controls work great on the first game, but are a bit difficult in parts on future iterations. Still, they are playable. However, for the last season, they decided to completely change how they make the games and fill the game with missable achievements and collectibles that are easy to miss. So you pretty much need to play it with the guide open at all times. If you want the achievements. Is this something anybody actually enjoys? Do you like following a guide the whole time you play a game? Or do you prefer to just play the game and clean up afterward, like me? Can you think of any games you actually enjoyed playing with a guide open? Thanks for the show. And that's, of course, from our questionnaire extraordinaire, Isaac. You have any thoughts off the bat?
Well, pretty much the main thing for me is I will play through as much of the story as I can until you get to like an open world area or something like that. And then when it's kind of free reign just to do whatever you want, because a lot of these big open world games just kind of leave you hanging for a little while just in the open world. I pull up like an interactive map for the collectibles, knock out everything kind of on the map, and just see if there's anything missable, pretty much. So I'll go to xboxachievements.com and just look at their little overviews of some of their older guides. So they don't do a lot of guides these days, but I just do kind of like the summary. This is how you get all the achievements, and are you going to miss anything along the way? And then I'm always only really looking for missables, if there is or isn't, before I look into that stuff. So
yeah, it depends on the context. There's certain missables that like if it's like a small guide and all that, I can do it with a guide open. If it's something that's like 10 hours plus, I kind of want to just enjoy the game, but I won't. I'll still check the missables if it's going to be detrimental to me like down the line. With the Walking Dead series, those kind of Telltale games, you basically, like if you're playing for xCloud and all that, from the beginning kind of games, you kind of just expect them to be, just normal playthroughs.
Yeah.
I hate that they did like the fourth game or the final season as a missable thing.
They were kind of strung into that though, because it wasn't really them that made it. So, was it Sky? Sky?
Partly. I think that the template was still there. So they had the new engine, and then it was a case of everything kind of fell apart. But it depends on the game. It depends on what kind of missables they are. Like if it's something if it's an 100-hour like RPG and you got missables, then I'm like very hesitant to start it. It really comes down to the context of the game. I was going to say, going through...
I mean, like, Crackdown, right? So, Crackdown's a good example of...
I haven't played
Crackdown, it had some really specific stuff you had to do. I don't remember exactly, but you had to do, like, a combination of stuff. But it had a huge amount of collectibles as well. So, sometimes, if you're only going to play the game once, man, it's just like, well, you either... do or you don't. You have to know if you need to play it a second time, I think. At least. So
pretty much like when Isaac asked this question, a lot of sentiment was essentially it's the latter. I'd rather, like Bulbasaur, I'd rather enjoy the game and do cleanup. Simone for Xbox Cast Creed. Like how
Yeah.
if it has missables, I'd rather watch the guide. Most games are not worth a second playthrough.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like if I'm there for the like, unless I'm doing a second playthrough for an alternative story or something like. What's a good example? What was that JRPG that was like one side was male, one side was female? The one that was in Game Pass. They got announced during Scarlet
I didn't.
Nexus. Scarlet
Oh,
Nexus
okay.
is what I'm
I
thinking
didn't
of.
play any of those, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I guess another good example is one of the things I've been playing. I spoiler for later. I started Brothers, and that has mostly
Mm.
missables. And then there's one achievement that's like you have to do something in chapter 1 that affects something in chapter 4, even though there's only like 12 achievements in that game. So, mm,
What else was there? Yeah, missable achievements. Just they're kind of just the bane of our existence. In all honesty,
mm,
if there are certain missable achievements in a stack of collectibles, I'm going to have to guide a walkthrough. Yeah, I think
yeah,
most of the sentiments are essentially the same.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
when I talk to devs, I try and tell like I just say like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Missable
So
should
what
not.
is your ultimate advice for devs with this stuff then?
Don't put missable. Like, I'm okay with cleanup. I like a good like go for the story, get 80% of the achievements, and then clean
Yeah,
up
yeah,
kind
and
of
then
model.
that's what I'm saying. Like you kind of once you're left to kind of if you leave like the very last mission hanging or something like that, and you just go do everything else,
Yeah,
and then you're like it looks nice and clean, everything's kind of done, you can move on, do the last mission, stuff like that.
and
So
like it would be achievements that are like
mm,
kill multiple characters or do something special. They're usually left.
yeah,
But yeah,
and then I leave guides for like stuff I've missed for a second playthrough if I have to.
yeah.
So
I very much prefer I very much prefer games where I know I can get through without a guide, and then if I have to look at a guide for a particular achievement after, that's fine.
okay,
There might be
but what
like
about
secret areas, that kind of stuff.
bit of a spin on the old paper guide then? What about video guides? How do you feel about that? Because that's
I usually
slightly
use video
different than
guides.
just following a. You mostly use video
Yeah,
guides?
I
Okay.
know. I know Matt's the case of he much prefers
Okay.
the text guide, I believe.
Yep.
But video, I mean, we all know the saying, "A picture tells 1,000 words." I would much rather be able to mirror the experience of another player if they're going
Okay.
for like 100% playthrough, and like that's not taking away from the story or anything for me because
Right.
you're still taking it at the same time. Whereas in a text kind of guide, you can kind of read ahead. Like sometimes you may need to, but I just find like doing video side by side is a lot easier for me.
Okay.
But
Cool. So you kind of have a second screen
yeah,
or whatever.
but I ultimately pretty much game like 95% of the time from my desk with my dual
Okay.
monitors. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
left game, right guide.
Mm.
Whereas in like you can have others like that have been on the podcast that have like 50, 60 inch screens, and I don't blame them for wanting to play on that, but I mean this is
Yeah.
just preferential. I would rather have like everything to like not a small screen but to a smaller screen.
What about specific achievements then? Like just itty bitty bits of, one-off achievements and stuff like that for guides, specific guides.
Well, it depends on the game,
Yeah.
but like if it is a case of like I'll look at an achievement list beforehand, and then I'll kind of make an educated guess most of the time.
Mm.
But it really just depends on the game. Usually, sometimes there won't be a guide and all that, and you just have
Yep.
to experiment.
Yeah.
But sometimes just achievements are straight out broken.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, I tend to just tab open. I'll just look at the missables and then just tab open those achievements and make sure I don't miss them.
yeah,
So,
but yeah, I hope that answers the question, Isaac.
or gives you some ideas,
What's that?
or gives you some ideas
Yeah.
how you're gonna do your gameplaying.
Yeah, I'd be very interested to see what other games you do using xCloud. Because I think like Walking Dead series and those kind of like early Telltale games are really good options.
Mm.
Yeah, I think David was saying like, what are the achievements like for the Expanse? I wasn't even aware that the Expanse came out until I saw a Twitch ad like not too long ago, today. Like
Yeah.
it's completely flown under my radar.
Yeah, I followed a couple of circles that did reviews for them, but yeah, generally there's not a whole lot of buzz. It's very specific. I don't know how it ties to the show,
Yeah.
and I've not seen the shows, so
I think there was another conversation that kind of stemmed off this too regarding difficulty based achievements, which I think are fine. Stuff like I think it was Monster changed his name to do that long writes long reviews. Was saying like I
yeah.
understand the existence of difficulty related achievements and they can be really rewarding if you beat the game in hard difficulty. Um, but stuff like Mind Laben's a little bit ridiculous as well.
Yeah, well, that time-based stuff is also a real problem. You can't stick around if you've got to go from A to B within a certain time in like a
Yeah,
action game or something, then you're really stuck, not being able to look
I
at a guide.
I
So,
like I like rewarding like I like systems that reward players for trying.
oh yeah,
Like even
yeah.
if it is hitting your head at the brick wall, I don't like systems that punish players for trying. Like one death runs and that kind of stuff. Um, yeah.
They're not all bad though, those one death ones. So,
I mean,
they're
it
right.
depends on the game, but something like Wolfenstein 2, it's just that. I
Yeah,
mean, there's a reason why we quote Mein Leben as
yeah,
a
yeah.
thing.
Well, maybe I should put that on my list next after this Need for Speed stuff that I've been doing.
I mean, there's so many games that I just want to really challenge myself, and I just run out of
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But
Man, I haven't finished a single Dark Souls game. They're like a
oh,
good example.
man, do Remnant. Get three people together, do Remnant because
Yeah,
it's
right.
it's Dark Souls
Yeah.
with guns.
I don't have access to Remnant, so I'll
You
have to
can.
look at that.
I'm saying it like $10 a JB.
Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, yeah. I've seen it. I've seen it
Yeah,
cheap.
just
So
pick it up. Just pick it up. All right, cool. We get into news then. Yeah, a lot of little stories of the week. First thing straight off the bat, which I know a few people are excited for. Xbox insiders can stream games to Discord with the coming soon to all feature. With the feature coming soon to all, sorry. So yeah, from today,
yes.
Xbox insiders can stream games to Discord with wider availability coming soon. Um,
Hmm?
this is like one of the most requested features. I know, like when we were talking to Adrian the other day, he like was immediately like really excited for it.
Yeah. So what kind of the person do you think this really is for then?
Adrian,
I
I
know,
mean,
because like you've got people that I guess Adrian he just finds random Discord channels that have like a live
hmm.
section and then just streams in there. So
I,
I
I
guess if he can do it directly from his
I
Xbox.
think there's some appeal for certain games.
Hmm.
I think there's some appeal when it comes to maybe you're not the streamer kind of type. You don't want to broadcast on Twitch or YouTube, but you still
Hmm.
want to showcase a game with your friends. I know, like when we were playing Exo Primal last night,
Yep.
Island loves to, like we'll be in there chatting with each other, and Island will chuck up a stream or whatever he's playing. It's game promotion at the same time,
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
way. So I think that's the kind of like it's those kind of communities where maybe a few people get together and chat at night, and then they're just they have a stream up or whatever they're playing. What about
Yeah.
you? What do
I
you
mean,
think?
well, actually, yeah, as soon as I saw this, I immediately thought, Hog event games gone with gold. I could
Yeah.
do my division runs without having to go live, basically. So, I mean, it definitely has its place. So, yeah.
I mean, sometimes you
So,
just jump into a channel in Discord and just chat with people, and it's
mm,
fine. Like like for our community, at least everybody in there is in there for because they have an achievement hunter mindset. It might
yeah.
not be. It might be different, varying niches of that achievement hunting mindset, but
Actually, something I know with the Zenimus, which is in chat at the moment, he's had
mm,
trouble with basically he runs on 5G for a lot of his stuff because his location doesn't have very good like actual built-in
yeah, yeah.
internet anywhere. Um, but he tried to watch some of my streams one day, and the only thing he could get, he was using Twitch, and he'd
Yeah.
only have one option, and it was I don't know. You're if you can remember that, Zach, is it um was it 1080p, I think, and it was too much for him, or it was running at 1440p or something. I think it was running at 1080p, and it just wasn't letting him like interact with it a bit. And I said, look, try YouTube, and then you'll actually get the option to bump down your quality.
Yeah.
Like there's no option to bump down your quality under the conditions that he was under in his with his connection. So it really depends like how they're going to vet that, or if you have to just whatever resolution from your console and then get that streaming into the Discord.
I'm not too
So
sure. I just thought of
mm,
another scenario though. Like we already had the voice chat coming, which allows so
moderation.
yeah, moderation.
Mm.
I was gonna say the point I was thinking of was crossplay. Like those systems where you can't be in an Xbox party together. You had those
Right.
Discord calls, so you can be playing with your mates on PlayStation. But I think this is very
Yeah, okay.
useful. Like you want to see what your friend's streaming, but
That's
um,
actually a good sell
you're not on the
because it's
console.
like if you want to stream to Discord, you can only do that on Xbox if you're just streaming directly from your console. So that's actually, pretty spot on, I reckon.
Battery 30%.
That's sounds good.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Was
no,
that,
it's
yeah. I don't think you can do it for PlayStation. I know they have the streaming
I
features normal.
they were getting Discord integration, but I'm pretty sure Microsoft's been helping them move it
I
along on this
think they
side.
have it now,
Yeah,
but I don't know to what extent. I've not
yeah,
really
not too
used it
sure.
over there, so
Um, but yeah, I think I've only been in a disc like because I've got my PC right here.
mm.
There's not really much point there's not really much point for me to do it on console. But then there would be other people where I could understand. Yeah.
I think
Okay,
that's
yeah.
your headset.
Yeah, sorry. I checked my headset. I got a notification saying my headset was going flat, which it does at 10%. I'm like, it's at
Yeah.
least at like 40 or 50, and it's like, nah,
If
30.
you quit the Logitech app and just run your headset through the computer, I found it doesn't notify you.
Okay, there you go.
So it's like just before you stream or something. You don't get the lights because it's, if you want the
Yeah.
lights in the
I don't
front of the
care about the
headset,
lights. I
but
just care about the headset lasting the charge. It's been bad lately. But
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, no, I think the other case of this too is it's going to be useful for people like out in the lounge room. They have like
Mm.
separate setups, that kind of stuff. Like it just
Yeah,
gives you
okay. Yeah.
Discord on more
Mm.
devices,
Right.
and
Yeah,
I think that's a
mm.
good selling point as well.
Yeah, you can just open it up on everything and just
Don't have to
have it going.
necessarily be in your PC
Mm.
and you probably don't want to be running it through your phone alongside you. You'd much rather have it on console, have everything in one place.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think TVs have a Discord app yet, so I mean maybe that's the next thing too.
I mean, wouldn't surprise me.
Hmm.
Would not surprise me. Anyway, um, let's talk about this Camco bundle.
All right.
All right, so a little bit of
All right. How
interest.
many of these games have you heard of? No, just tell the
Yeah,
story
okay.
first.
Yeah, yeah. So Camco has launched a limited time $200 US bundle of
Yeah.
50 Xbox RPG games. So
Hmm.
following the launch of its 50th game on Xbox, publisher Camco has released a $200 bundle of its RPG games that is only available for a limited time. So over the next 50 days, you can get the Camco 50 RPGs celebratory bundle, which basically contains an almost complete collection for the Series X and S and the Xbox One. According to the Xbox Y announcement, each game has a playtime around 15 hours, so there is roughly 750 hours of content here, without taking into account completion estimates on TA. Johnny Sinister has rightly put in other comments, the games in the bundle have an average price of around $15, so there is around $750 worth of titles in the Camco bundle.
Yeah.
So yeah, indie RPGs. Going for the list quickly, I noticed some that I own as Divine Hearts. What was it? As Divine Hearts, as Divine Hearts 2. I think Ferns Gate. I haven't really played any of this though.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
don't
good price
know.
though.
Like I mean, if you're going to spend your time anywhere and it was the Kemco games that you wanted, then I mean, that's your 750 hours. That's like eh, a lot of time to put into these games. I mean, it's a nice collection. Well, I mean, is this going to actually just be a digital collection too? It
Yeah,
is.
it's
Yeah.
just a one
Hmm.
digital bundle.
I
But
mean, this is the kind of thing that, as a package, could easily get a game limited run package physically,
we need
and that
a
would be amazing.
we
But
need a Kemco publisher leaderboard. I
hmm.
wonder if there is.
Oh, there you go.
I'm
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm having a look, see if yeah, somebody has. All right, so the max is 90,445. Somebody on it by the name of Ladia has 80,832 of the true achievement score.
Right.
So that is
Yes.
pretty impressive, I must say.
Yes. If you're going for your publisher completions, that's how you do it.
But yeah, I thought this was a pretty interesting bundle just to mention, and
Hmm.
yeah, it's only available for 50 days, but very decent discount price. Chucking 50 games at a player at once though is quite crazy.
Yeah. But it's a lot of the series, right? So it's like Alphadia, like there's three games. As Divine is what, one, two, three, four, like 6, 7 games
As
there.
Divine
So
Dias, Cross
yeah.
Hearts,
Mm.
Kimura, Menace, Saga. Yeah,
Yeah, if they're tying up something like this, you'd wonder if they've got other stuff that we don't know about coming. That would be good. But do they do anything else except for RPGs?
I honestly don't know that much about Kemco.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm just having a look through the games quickly. Like, I'm not seeing any missables.
Oh,
I'm seeing
oh,
low
that's a
player
good sign.
counts for some games, but
Hmm.
I've got Alavastia Chronicles apparently. Anyway,
Okay. The only
uh,
one I know is Revenant Dogma. I've got a hold of that.
yeah.
So,
The bundle is called the Kemco 50 RPG Celebratory Bundle. Introducing the Ultimate
yes.
RPG Bundle in celebration of the 50th title released on Xbox, now made available for a limited time, featuring 50 full-fledged RPGs. I mean, it could be worse. Yeah, this could be like a one game bundle situation. 1,000 gamer score for 750 hours of content.
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
We know fishing games with longer completion times than that.
Yeah, well,
So,
that's true too. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty funny story today. All right. Moving on to the next thing. Xbox Game Pass could add Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. With a number of people reporting popping up notifications about both titles joining Xbox Game Pass, suggesting they may be joining the service soon.
mhm.
So I'm not sure if you're aware, like this happened with Shadow Warrior 3 and there was another title earlier in the year.
As a bundle?
Yeah, no, that it just popped up as a
Okay.
notification that it was coming to Game Pass.
Oh, right. Yeah. Like an app thing.
I can't remember what the other one was,
Hmm.
but I know. What was it? Shadow Warrior 3 was one of them, and that was like a few weeks, I think, before the other one came out. Let me just see if I can.
Yeah,
Find it
I don't know what they are. But this seems like it might be a bit of a compromise because we can't get Baldur's Gate 3 yet.
Yeah,
Like
they
they'll
just jack on the other two and just like
they're
call it a
like
day.
here have like because it's $75 to buy the bundle, Australian, I think. Just looking at it. Not signed in anywhere. I don't know if that's Australian or not, probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
AU. So I mean, like, and it seems like it's what 150 to 200 hours as well. So
Yeah, I imagine they'll be
maybe it'll.
pretty long.
Yeah, I've heard these games are just huge completions. So in this third one, that's the one that has all those endings, isn't it? Isn't it like 17,000 or something? Is that Baldur's Gate that has that, or something else?
17,000. Trying to think.
I feel
Yeah,
like
I think it's
was.
something crazy like that. I think you are right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought this was a interesting. Like I think this is a showcase of it coming.
Mm.
Yeah, so a few people shared on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. Notifications in them. Likewise, a number of people on Reddit also had the same notification. So yeah, I dare say this is
Who did
the
Dark
company was.
Alliance 2?
Dark
Interplay
Alliance 2.
Black Isle. They did Dark Alliance 2, the one that was rubbish that came to Game Pass when it day one release.
Not too sure.
Black Isle Studios beamed on with the developers of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's been some issues with the developer with Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, I
Hmm.
think. So yeah, maybe they just want a bag. Maybe that's all it comes down to, you know. So
I'm trying to
something for
find
the
it.
next time.
I did see it the other day, but yeah, I can't think of that other game.
Hmm.
But yeah, anyway, yeah, it would be pretty interesting to see it. I mean, maybe it's just a big week for RPGs.
I never played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, so for
Neither.
people like me, it'll gear people up on Xbox to play 3, I think, if they really just, they've got time now. They are hearing all the positivity from the third game coming out,
I didn't
Um,
know much about the game, so I checked out the Steam reviews today. And it was something just like, there was one that was like top rated. That was something along the lines of like, this is one of the best games ever played, and like shows how other devs are not being not living up to the potential. Just live your true dreams. Like do this stuff. Throw the salami.
living your dreams. So, okay, what's the chance this guy was a furry?
I mean, he might have had some what's the right word? I mean, of just having a look at a bear. What was it? Play your way. Don't use a guide. Feel the world react to your choices. Hit people with the salami. I don't know if that's an innuendo for anything, but I'm just gonna move
I
along
don't
before.
know.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just like something someone says in the game or something,
yeah,
or like one of the old games or whatever.
yeah. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see when Larian gets Baldur's Gate 3 onto Xbox. But
Yeah, because Larian Studios, they're completely different than the guys that have made it before.
are they?
Well, I mean, what have they done?
I don't know who's
I don't
in.
know. Have they made any other games, Larian Studios?
I don't know. I know that Baldur's Gate's been in early access for a while.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. So
But
this might be their first foray into this kind of, or maybe they're made up of old teams.
400 employees. Um, Founded in 1996.
Okay, so they've been around for a while.
Yeah, but yeah,
Does it say they?
first licensed game is Baldur's Gate 3. They've
Okay, yeah, yeah.
worked on the Divinity series, and a few
Oh,
educational games.
right, of course. That's why this is so fleshed out. I reckon they're the right team for it, for sure.
Yeah,
Those Divinity games were pretty big, so I never
developed
touched them. But
Baldur's Gate 3. It is the third main game in the Baldur's Gate series. Itself based on the Dungeons Dragons tabletop. Released in early access format across all three platforms in 2020 with a full release on the 3rd of August 2023. Yeah, cool.
mhm. All right, let's go. Get rid of that. Yes.
Cool.
So
Yeah, so yeah, pretty interesting with that one.
so
I wonder
next
how long
week.
it takes them to Game Pass.
Well, wait, do you mean for 1 and 2,
Yeah,
or do
one
you
and
mean
two.
for?
1 and 2.
Yeah, I reckon it's very close if this kind of stuff is coming up.
Yeah, maybe
Or
like
if
next
not,
month. So
or if not, they're making a deal right now. So yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. All right. So, the game that nobody seems to know how to say, Dordogna, Dordogne,
Da,
Dordone,
da, da, da. I
don't
don't know.
know, a.
Don't know. Hey, yeah, that's a good one.
So Xbox Game Pass adds useful feature for missable achievements. So the new chapter select feature should help solve the issues achievement hunters are having with the game's collectibles and missable achievements. It launched into Game Pass in June. It was a gorgeous narrative-driven game,
Yeah.
which bounces between the past and present of its main character. I haven't played this, so I don't know
It's
about it. Have
it's
you
on
played
my
this?
list. I think it's like a 2 to 3 hour completion, and Walsh has a
Okay.
really good guide.
Okay, might be worth just jumping in. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the main character Mimi, it's an emotional story in a beautiful watercolor world, but it also happens to be riddled with missable collectibles needed for a number of achievements. If you happen to miss an item, you need and you need the wait, hang on, that's not even written properly. You need and the story and yeah, okay, the yeah,
Yeah.
grammar. And the story progresses, you were left with no problem but to replay the game again until now. They've got a new chapter select feature. So now that this stuff has been added, I'm gonna see a lot of extra people probably playing it.
Yeah,
So
this has been on my backlog to get around to. There's
mm,
quite a few like 3 to 4 hours kind of games in Game Pass at the moment that I want to get to. Like Planet Lana, I think is 4 to 5 maybe. This
yes, I've
Jordan.
downloaded that about 3 times, I think. Try and go to play that maybe and haven't. So,
Yeah, I just
mm,
need to get around to it.
um,
There's
yeah,
there's
yeah.
a few like shorter like one night completions though that I need to go around to in Game Pass. Um,
Yeah,
just yeah, stuff like this. But yeah, I thought this would be a good story to chuck in because yeah, the chapter select is always a nice thing for missable achievements. And you know what? This goes back to what Isaac was talking about before as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
David just said a short hike got added. Vemba is really nice. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Short hike I think
Mhm.
is 3 hours if I'm not mistaken. Nikita's
Mm.
recommended it to me before, but I was waiting for it to hit Xbox.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's actually there's a few really good ones that just haven't made it anywhere near Xbox.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
um
Tom, which Neo talked about last week.
mm,
But yeah, we'll go through the Game Pass game soon. So there was
yeah.
also other news that Microsoft is now selling official replacement parts for Xbox controllers. The US Microsoft
Yes.
Store has now started offering official support with a repairability initiative for they've sorry. Microsoft has been offering a repairability initiative for Surface devices for a while, but it looks like it is now offering a similar scheme for Xbox controllers. Currently, the North American Microsoft Store is only offering first party controller parts for sale, but all players can access the official repair instructions from support. So, yeah, the repair and replacement parts page on the store offers a selection of parts for Series X and S and Elite Series 2 controllers, such as replacement boards, buttons, and shelves. The shelves for both controllers only come in black and white variants, however, so you'll not be able to mod your basic controller with a shelf from a limited edition variant, such as the Starfield. Which
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
makes sense. They're gonna get you to pay for the limited ones, which I'm fine with. Prices range from $19.99 for a Series X and S controller top case to $59.99 for an Elite Series 2 PCBA and motor assembly. Although the prices look a little bit expensive on paper, depending on the part of your controller that's faulty, it could be more cost effective than purchasing a whole new controller, especially if you're comfortable with dismantling electronic items. I think it's very much a case of like, if
Mm,
you, it's right to repair essentially, yeah.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
everybody should have a right
exactly.
to repair. Um,
Yeah.
I'm very happy to like send it away and wait because I have quite a few. But if you're that person that has like one controller and doesn't have the money to fork out for another, then this is a very viable option.
The only issue probably with that is like I need the LB button replaced on my Elite Series 2, but you have to solder that to the
Yeah.
to the board. So, I mean, they're obviously relying on people who know how to do that stuff. And I just don't have any of that stuff lying around. I've not really had to, and I've been thinking about it, fixing them
Mm,
myself. So and something like this would really help that out. I think if I had access to a full kit of this, I would just be replacing everything that I got with it. I wouldn't be
yeah.
keeping anything for spare parts. Mm, So, but it's a good get. We really need official replacement stuff because I mean I've replaced my 360 controller sticks, and you're just finding stuff on Amazon.
Yeah.
I think the last time I did my 360 controllers, I just ordered metal ones so they wouldn't wear down, and then I ordered
Mm,
like gecko rubber covers or got the um, the little FPS shooter ones
yeah.
and stuff you can get at JB and stuff like
I
that. So
I pretty much
yeah, I had to
just
put them.
use like the custom design lab, like this one here. I just use the custom design labs controller I've got that
Mm.
Kirby bought me. But yeah, in terms of like the other like Xbox sorry, David was saying like he's Series One he hasn't broken yet, even the carbon black that he got with the console. Like Xbox
Mm.
One generation, like I definitely think they went the like it was the best upgrade in terms of like going from the 360 to the Xbox One controller, but they were very I don't want to say fragile, but like you think of like the first rendition of the Elite series and stuff like that, they just weren't they just didn't survive.
Yeah, I've
They just
only ever
wore
had a
down.
Series 2 Elite. But the other problem that I found is common with that as well, that you've got the little trigger bits on the back of the controller that
Mm.
swap between like I guess the light and heavy modes, kind of like how the triggers pull back.
Yeah, yep.
And they have like little plastic nubs that come off them. And once they're gone, there's just like a little sharp piece under there, like a little pin. So it's a problem
So
with that as well. So
I know we're an audio podcast as well, but I'm just holding up my original series Elite. You mean like the little green nubs
yeah, exactly.
that are
Those
there?
ones.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so they have like little bits that once they fall off, it's hard to actually swap between the modes.
Yeah, I can see.
And they're actually sharp. They're pointy. So, you know, so
Yeah, I can see the point of that too.
mm, you can't actually really replace those. I don't think they've got an option for any of that. So,
I think the other thing too that I don't really like with them is sorry, going from like the Elite One to the Elite Two,
mm.
you had the compartment at the back, whereas in the two was just a complete internal battery.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the other thing that I don't really like.
Mm.
People say all the time comparing like the Series X and the PS5 controllers like about the battery, like you know. But I think having the option to have double A's is actually not a bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they haven't really done anything about replacing the batteries, and there's all kind of new battery laws here too. Since those
Yeah.
elites have come out, we've had a whole bunch of legislation come through,
Hmm.
just specifically for batteries. And you go into any retail place, and you'll see stickers on anything that has a battery now.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't want to be shipping those about. They'd have to go through loopholes or regulations to actually get it done. So
Doesn't Xbox have a deal with Duracell? I would not be surprised. You're probably right there. I just can't remember. It's not partnership with Duracell.
oh, maybe at one point I'm sure they did. I don't know what they've got now, but I mean, is that what ships in the box? Duracells?
Duracell exec says deal with Microsoft is why the Xbox Series X controllers still use AA batteries. This is back from July 21. Oh wait,
Must be a pretty good deal.
yeah. Da-da-da. Yeah, revenue opportunities.
Hmm?
The deal is for OEM to supply the battery product for the Xbox consoles and also the controller's battery. So the deal is going to be for a while. It's been going for a while, and I think it needs to go for a while more. But yeah, you're
Hmm.
100% right, David.
Well, I mean, the only other thing you're looking at with things like batteries are like how eco-friendly they are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all these companies want to be, more eco-friendly, like in the eyes of the
Well,
consumer.
the other the other benefactor from that is the fact that they're got the revenue opportunities from from selling rechargeable battery packs.
Mm.
So you pretty much got like Duracell helping them out in that regard, and making coin there. Be cool. My favorite story of the week: Xbox is going to be at Gamescom.
Oh,
You know who else is going to be at Gamescom?
Surprise, surprise. You're going to be at Gamescom.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Germany in like less than 2 weeks now. So, first time going to Europe. Pretty exciting. But yeah, Xbox has announced that they're going to have a booth at Cologne, Germany, with fan experiences that are bigger and better than ever. It's the fans that make Gamescom the biggest gaming event in the world, and we're thrilled to greet you this year with the largest booth we've ever had at Gamescom. Attendees will be able to experience a huge amount of exciting new games coming to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass with fantastic photo opportunities and the return of Xbox Fan Fest. I actually submitted for this. I'm hoping I get in because going to a Fan Fest event there would be pretty cool as well.
Yeah. So what does it take to get into one of these
I'm
events?
pretty
Or
sure
is it
it's
just
like
a time?
I think it's like one of the, how like the FanFest stuff works in Australia where you basically just get awarded the ticket, like if you get selected. I think it's pretty much one of those regards.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the booth is going to have over 30 titles spread across 150 gaming stations with amazing photo ops and experiences, as well as a specially constructed 300 seats theatre. Attendees will be able to check out exclusive theatre presentations from Starfield, Forza Motorsport, Ara History Untold, and then Towerborn, Elder Scrolls Online, and Microsoft Flight Sim. Over 25 titles from third-party partners and ID at Xbox friends will be playable at the booth. So debut of Stalker 2, which I do want to sneak out and play Stalker 2. It's the main one that I'm interested in. They're going to have Armored Core 6. They're going to have Payday 3. They're going to have Party Animals. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. Under the Waves, which I think was that... Was Under the Waves the horror one, or am I thinking of...
That was that was like on a rig out in the ocean or something. Yeah, it was the horror. Oh, no, hang on. No, that wasn't. That was
Under the Waves is something different.
Yeah, actually, I retweeted something about that. It's the one with the submarine with the guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's been there for X amount of time. And
I think it's Chinese Room was making the... I think that's the developer's
that sounds familiar.
name. Yeah, it was making the rig one.
Yeah.
And then Persona 5 Tactica. Attendees can also come and help celebrate 10 years of ID at Xbox and experience a diverse range of ID at Xbox titles, including Lamplighters League, SteamWorld Build, Lightyear Frontier, and lots more. Whatever you're into, the Xbox booth will have something for you. For the full list of playable titles, visit here. Just seeing if anything sticks out to me that's going to be worth... come on, page load. Load. So they're going to have like so they're going to have 3 streams. They're going to have an opening live stream on August 22nd.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which will be... It will be after... Oh. Will it be after? That might be the same time as like the proper opening live. Like games, like, Jeff Killer's one. I need to check that.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah.
There is a live from the show floor, and then there's a FanFest trivia stream. So going to be 3 different 3-hour streams that week. What other games was there? They had a list somewhere. Oh, sorry. 5 streams. 3 live from the show floor streams. FanFest trivia and opening night live. So
and you said there was a list.
Yeah, I'm having a quick
So
look
that's
through.
not the entire. Okay.
Stalker, what is it? Stalker 2, Sonic Superstars, Party Animals, Mortals of Avium, Mortal Kombat 1, Armored Core, SteamWorld Build, Worldless, A Little Kitty Big City, Cocoon is going to be playable.
Okay, that's cool.
I'll check out Cocoon. Then a few other indie games I'm not as familiar with stations. So there's like 3 separate blocks they're split into. Towerborn has a claw machine. I loved the claw machine campaign they had at PAX Oz 2
Yeah,
years
that
ago.
was pretty cool. Looking at that from
Uh,
my sofa.
Cocoon was the Limbo
That was the
dev, wasn't it?
one where it's like a Inception kind of thing where you can go in
Mm,
and out of the worlds. So you carry them around into
yeah.
dome areas, and when you place them down, you can go in and out and use them to solve puzzles. So
It's only 2 halls away from me, it looks like. Don't miss out on the PC Game Pass challenge. Just full opportunity prizes with gaming laptops, NVIDIA Now, Ultimate. Cool. What else is there?
all right.
FanFest.
So long story short, win me something.
Calling
That's
all game developers to DevCom. DevCom. There's yeah, there's a few different things. Pitch it. I'm gonna go and see if I can have a look at some of these events. Be pretty cool. I'm not sure how many I will be able to get into, but it will be very, very cool. So yeah, I'll be off for like 2 weeks towards the end of the month, but when I get
yeah.
back, I'll fill you all in of what I see. Do we want to go over our Gone with Gold community event?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Cool. So yeah, if people haven't heard last week's podcast, we were talking about last week or the week before, we were talking about doing
The last 2 weeks it
yeah.
kind of come up a little bit.
So we've been talking about doing a Gone with Gold community event to celebrate the ending of Games of Gold. Some of us have pretty much picked a few games that we're going to go through. Like, I will quickly just briefly mention some of the games I've done since we announced it. Finished off Celeste, done Live Lock after the podcast last week, finished the base game of Layers of Fear, and I finished When the Past was around. I think Neo's put like 12 games on his list.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's finished Beast of Marvilla Island and Lamentium. You're offering division runs for people that want it?
Yeah. So with that, so survival mode in the Division is one of my favorite game modes, and the first Division game was one of the best games of that generation, and it came out in what 2013 or something. So
Yeah, it's been a while.
yeah. So they did people kind of they just don't like getting in and doing the survival mode. Now, I'm no way offering underground runs. You can go and just have that to yourself, but that RNG can suck it.
Organizing people for that. Absolute pain.
Yeah. But I'm proficient with the survival runs and quite happy to run through, one or two people at a time, just to get them used to, get a little bit of a taste of the way that works. I know there's a couple of people that aren't quite at level 30 and stuff like that. And they have never seen the game mode, but own the DLC. It was games with gold. Like, so most people have the base game if they downloaded it or maybe have started it. And yeah, so, once you get used to that, you've got to collect 100 crates. So, yeah.
David in chat's just like, did you ever play the addition, the subtraction, and the
Yeah.
multiplication? No, I hear they're like hidden projects that Ubisoft's still working on.
Yeah, collaborations with Ed Sheeran.
Oh, gee.
So is that
Tell me you're looking at the albums in JB without telling me.
It's no longer Tom Clancy's The Division, it's Ed Sheeran's Subtraction and Addition.
He's done all those albums now, yeah? He's done the whole...
I think so. I think he's done the set. I'm sure he could
I
come
think
up
there
with
was like
something
Equals or
else.
something, and then we're just gonna have Pie and like other
Oh yeah, yeah.
random ones.
I could go for a little pie right now.
Bulbasaur's just like, what the hell did I walk into that was going down? You know what you get with this podcast.
Yeah.
How about you tell us a little bit about like what games you're going to do with Games of Gold or planning to do?
So for those that haven't already seen on the Gone with Gold sheet, there's 5 pages of games that I put up there, it was a list from 2013 or something. The whole games with gold lists, subject to region availability and whether or not you redeemed them or not. But basically, the first page and a bit have highlighted in red or little N's if you have some kind of color blindness going on. Then you'll be able to see.
Who would have a color blindness on this podcast?
I don't know. I don't know. And
Yeah.
how would they get through video games? Um, so and there's the first page and a bit of that actually show all the games that aren't backwards compatible. And my interest is clearing out the games that I, don't want to turn my old consoles on for. So of the games with gold, and I've claimed most of them. There was, I think, two games that I couldn't, and I have to see if they're just in my download list. I don't know what they are. But the stuff that's not backwards compatible that I downloaded were Dead Rising 2, Deadlight, so a couple of shorter ones as well, like Dead Island's on there, which I did a co-op run originally but never finished. Shoot Many Robots, Defenders, the original one of that, Dust and Elysian Tale, which there's no reason not to go back and play that, I've heard, so that'd be good. Charlie Murder, Dishonored, I've only done one playthrough of that, so I guess playthrough with the other ending and the DLC, which is quite hard, actually, I believe.
Yeah,
which is probably why I never got into it. So
you know what, you should really do the DLC for the Dishonored, because I feel like it will really, like, it was me challenging him with the Cuphead DLC. Really get Matt going again.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I should do that. I have it installed. It's probably one of the things I've had installed for so long. Last couple there, Red Faction Guerrilla, which I've had a couple of people say that they wanted to play as well. Thief, Metro 2033, and Last Light, because I never touched them. I played Metro 33, but I never touched Last Light at all.
Yeah.
And then I also had installed Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes.
Yeah.
So Ground Zeroes was one of the ones where that was games with gold on both the Xbox One and the 360. But then last year I finished
a
5.
server thing or something closing, or
the Metal Gear Solid 5 on the 360 had the server closure last year.
Okay.
Whether or not that went down or not, I'm pretty sure it did. But you had to do like you had to complete the game and then go and it was something to do with the nuke. You had to go online mode and disable a nuke or something that was in someone's game or something like that.
Well, they haven't marked any achievements
for the 360.
Yeah,
it's not marked. Yeah, but the other one was left alone, so the Ground Zeroes is fine. Which I did start that at the time, pretty much after I finished 5, I think, but I never went back to it. So Gotham City's Imposters is on there as well. I also already had that installed, but I don't know if I'll get to that. But based on the suggestions in the chat, I'm probably at the moment I'm doing Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which I've already mentioned. I might move on to Charlie Murder next.
Yeah, I completely forgot about Charlie Murder as a game, to be honest. So I might even do that myself. It's been a while.
Yeah.
15, 20 hours, play Charlie Murder, everybody. It's a cool fighting game.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. I think the other I think Deadlight's not very long as well, as far as I can see, based on the TA stuff. But I could be wrong, though.
What am I thinking that's similar to Deadlight? They're closed down. I might have Director's Cut. That's what I think I've got.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Because there's 2 different versions, and the Games of Gold one is the original, not the Director's Cut?
Yes, that was the 360 one.
Yeah, and the Director's Cut.
Yeah, so Shoot Many Robots I think is okay too, like just to quickly knock out. Oh, Sleeping Dogs was another one as well. So that's another one I never finished.
I need to go back to Sleeping Dogs. I do it every so often.
Yeah.
But I just can't seem to drag myself through. What was it?
Yeah, it looks like...
I was going to say, you're also been working Halo Spartan Assault, yeah?
Yes, but that's in my games that I've been playing. This a little bit further down the track. But I mean, really, even just for that, I was just... the week before, Aftos and I got in and did the co-op stuff, and then this week we went and did the just the medals that we needed for co-op. So
Yeah.
it was quite a short run anyway. So there's not much more to say there with that. So,
Yeah. Start Dead Rising, god.
Oh
You gotta
yeah,
do that
yeah.
7 day challenge or survivor, whatever it is.
Hmm.
All right, cool. Let's go on to Game Pass updates. So we've already talked to Games of Gold. Oh, did we? Yeah, we did last week. I'm pretty sure. I also forgot to mention that you didn't bring up the Final Fantasy 14 coming to.
Oh yeah,
I
because we didn't put that in the
That was
news.
right after.
Oh
Yeah,
geez, that was like hours. Yeah, so I willed into existence, by the way, everybody. It was exclusive on this podcast, me willing it, talking about Final Fantasy 11 and
I
14.
I don't see any other podcast Xbox podcasts talking about Final
Actually,
Fantasy
I
14.
know of one other that was chatting, one other person from a podcast that was chatting in their chat with a buddy about it at the same night. So there
Okay,
was a vibe going on.
it
But
was a
yes,
vibe.
so they had the Final Fantasy 14 Fan Fest for the year, where they basically announced the new expansion.
Hmm.
I can't remember what the name of it is. It is something trail. Anyway, I
Okay.
can't remember that. And so at the very end, we had uh somebody walk on stage that we nobody was expecting.
P3.
So we had Phil Spencer walk onto the stage, and it's been memed all over the internet, and I've shared, and basically the next day I shared and followed like a bunch of people just to kind of push this a little bit. So Final Fantasy 14 is now coming to Xbox.
Hmm.
When they release the final patch, which is I believe 6.5, is it? I don't know the date. It could be by the end of the year,
Hmm.
maybe. But or early next year. I don't know if there's actually a date for it yet because they've got another event, I think.
It's a it's
And
a
then
it's a massive get.
so the 6.5 will pretty much be the final patch before they release the next expansion,
Yep.
and that will be 7.0, and that's basically an onboarding for the they did a 10-year story, and it
Yep.
was they've basically completed over all the expansions that they're done with all of that, and now they're making a new story, and onboarding people. It's going to be pirate based by the looks of it, lots of treasure and gold and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And it'll be um, everyone on Xbox will have like a preview, like a beta that they can get into before that, and then when that release comes out, they'll have the new um, expansion that will be just available. And I'm like, yeah, well, it would be silly for them to allow the Xbox people to play beforehand because they'd have to buy everything twice, right? So if they came in at Endwalker, which is the last expansion, then when the new game comes out, they'd be buying into the whole new game. So
Hmm.
it makes sense that 7.0 was the place to onboard everybody.
I wonder if it's going to be a case too of it coming to Game Pass.
It, well, I mean, it's going to be, so the way that works is you have a Square Enix account
Yep.
and you're set up on the back end with that, and then you basically just sign in, and then it doesn't matter what platform you're on, you'll be able to basically play the game.
Okay. Cool.
But you have to buy it on every single platform.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, I just don't see it being a Game Pass game because they can get so much out of people rebuying it unless they really wanted to push that Game Pass on it. So yeah, yeah. But I mean, this is what a lot of people have wanted for a very long time. So and
Hmm.
I was thinking about doing some little guides and stuff like that to help Xbox players on board. Basically, this is how you control. This is what's available. Keyboard and mouse, everybody. It's
100%
available
everybody's
to
going to hit
play
you up
on.
once it comes
Yeah,
out.
exactly. Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
hoping this
Yeah.
leads
Well, I
to
mean, I'm not even at.
I was going to say I'm hoping this leads
Yes,
to
they do
the
charge a monthly fee.
yeah.
The thing I guess to note with that is that with the monthly fee, at the moment you can play the base game and two expansions. and they're planning on adding two to that. So the only one that you'll be paying for is Endwalker, I think, and then the new one. So basically, it'll come out as a complete package anyway. So regardless, you'll still have to buy the game and then pay the subscription. But if everyone can play for free up until like level 90 or something and play the original game with plus like three or four of the expansions that have come out. I think it's like three of them. So I think they've had four expansions. So level 70? I think level 70 is what they have at the moment, Todd, because you've got two expansions included at the moment. So you'll be able to do a little bit more. So basically take you up right up to level 80, I think, which was where they do the where you start at the final expansion for the game, Endwalker, and then you go up to level 90, and then this next one will be basically level 90 to 100 with the new expansion. So you'll be able to play a lot of game for free without ever having to subscribe. And I spent more than a year replaying on a new character without even like, I mean, I was paying for a subscription because I had a character that was past that point, but you can play for a very long time without having to even buy the game or have you might have to buy the game, but you don't have to pay the subscription for a long time.
Yeah.
So is this the trial? The trial, well, once you buy the game, sorry, I have to correct myself. Once you buy the game, you're basically paying for the subscription. But if you use the trial and you can play all of the expansions they have available, then you're set. So a lot of people on Xbox won't be paying for a very long time, I think. So they don't need to put it in Game Pass because you don't have to pay for it
Fair point.
for a long time. Mm. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at with that. So, yeah, if I was a little bit more prepared, I probably would have had a couple of extra things to throw in there,
yeah.
but I didn't even think about that.
I will
So,
say I do hope it is a case of it leading to like the pixel remasters and all that coming to.
mm,
Like I do hope
that
this kind of
was
opens the door with Square again.
that was the thing that they were really pushing. They were basically saying that future Square Enix games, where possible, will come to
Where
Xbox.
possible.
Where possible means if they haven't already got a contract that stops them from coming to Xbox, they will come to
Yeah, the
Xbox.
next year they've just already the
So we still might not see Final Fantasy 16. We still might not see the first Final Fantasy 7 remake. But if you have a look at Final Fantasy 7 Reunion and the gear for that, what they've said is that you don't need to play Final Fantasy 7 Remake to play Final Fantasy 7 Reunion. So what might they do? Well, we got Octopath Traveler 1. PlayStation got Octopath Traveler 2. They didn't get Octopath Traveler 1. We might end up with the reunion and not
yeah.
the first part of the Final Fantasy 7. So just to see what happens. And then it won't be until, I don't know, it's all out that they can do a complete package or something. Who
just give me a
knows?
Final Fantasy game. It's fine.
Yeah.
Any will do. All right, we'll quickly go through Game Pass updates. We have a short hike that came out yesterday, which I'm really excited for. We've got Broforce, which I'm a little bit hesitant to because of the one unattainable achievement that's been out on Windows for quite a while. We'll have to wait and see if it's final console. I don't know if it's player anywhere or if it's a stack as well.
I don't know. Mm.
August 9th, we've got Limbo, which reminds me I need to get that final achievement done.
Yes, I can go back and I never played the PC version and I just finished the Xbox One
Yeah,
version. So I'm
you may
like,
as
oh,
well
it's
do it.
fresh in my mind. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I may even stream like that whole run because I reckon I
Uh,
could do it just in the
what
one
else
now.
we got?
So,
Airborne Kingdom coming out on the 10th. And then Everspace 2 hitting the cloud and the Series X and S on August
mm,
15th, which I'm probably going to check out there rather than on PC. Games leaving Game Pass and PC Game
mm.
Pass include Death Stranding, Edge of Eternity, Midnight Fight Express, and Total War Warhammer 3. I kind of wanted to do Death Stranding, but I just think like I don't have enough time.
I have it installed purely because I want to see how it runs.
Yeah,
Because if I pick it up later on, I want to know that it runs on my computer.
Actually, that's a
So
good point.
I
You want to,
actually have it just to check.
yeah, that is a good point.
Hmm. Yeah,
What else?
yeah.
Edge of
So I'm gonna do
Eternity.
that. So it's gonna appear on my card. Yeah.
Yeah. Edge of Eternity has unattainables.
Mm.
Not sure about Total War Warhammer.
Okay.
Midnight Fright Express, I think, is still on the long side, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, I yeah,
That
that was a game that I kind
that
of
that
wanted
was
to check out
the
originally,
yeah
but
that was the solo dev. 40 to 50 hours.
okay. Wow.
5.5. I don't know if that game is still as hard as what it was.
Warhammer's a huge slog as well, so I
Yeah.
don't think anyone will be getting the completion for that
Games of Gold month. Just work on
either.
your Games of Gold.
Yeah, exactly. Don't need to worry about that now. We've got other things to focus on.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Hmm.
Do you want to start off with what games you've been playing?
All right. So I have a lot more games that I've been playing this week than I have last week.
Mhm.
As I said, I've done some Halo Spartan Assault, the only co-op stuff I have left. So I'll start with the games of gold stuff that I've kind of got
Yeah,
set
cool.
up. I just need to do the 10,000 kills and all co-op levels where you beat the other person's time, but points.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
actually have to play. There's only 5 co-op levels. There's not very many co-op levels compared to actual proper levels. So that's that too. Todd and I went back and did some Saints Row 2,
Yep.
the multiplayer for that, um, which is really good. So we did basically like a 6 hour session, and I went up 2 ranks. It was like one at the very start of the session. It was the enforcer rank, and then by the end of the session, I ended up getting dominated. Todd went up a rank as well, but we worked out that we got like $68,000,
Yep.
which is yeah XP in the game, um, in that time. So we can kind of work out how long it took us to go up that rank. So it took a bit of time. I don't know if we're super efficient with that though. But hopefully all I need now is Terminator and Executioner rank. Because I've got to talk like a Pirate Day one and some of the other easier non-ranked ones as well that
Yeah.
you can kind of skip a couple of the higher ranks which take over 1,000,000 points to get. So, hmm. As I said, I've been doing Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. If you haven't played this game, you really need to check it out. You may or may not have it part of your games with gold stuff. It's kind of nice to go back to actually. So it's only like about 5 hours. I'm only up to chapter 3, I think. I think there's about
Yeah.
6 chapters. But it was one of the first Xbox 360 games, well, games on Xbox that used the twin sticks. It looked kind of like a twin stick
It
shooter, but you controlled individually the characters.
it was such
So
a cool little charming indie that had like a
yeah.
unique spin.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was really thinking about games that way when that game came out, so it was
And
such a like a refreshing
you,
surprise
you gotta
and confusing one.
you gotta think of the like what that. I'm trying to think of the studio's name, but they've done like what A Way Out. They've done. Um,
Yeah, they've
oh,
kept the
what's the
same
recent
kind
one
of
called?
concepts. It Takes Two
It Takes Two.
as
Yeah,
well. So yeah.
like they've really delivered with that kind of twin stick
Mm.
control kind of
Well,
thing.
they've delved into co-op now, really,
Yeah,
with that kind of getting the tasks done between 2 people.
and I love
Actually,
co-op
instead of
games, and there's not enough of them.
mm. Yes, well, I mean, I don't have. I mean, the list of co-op games that I have that we haven't started or partway
Indie
through is
co-op,
just.
indie co-op
Hmm, hmm.
is more so what I mean. But yeah,
Yeah, actually, there's a couple I need to hit you up about actually that you may or may not know about, but I can't
yeah,
remember the name of it at the moment. It's on my Xbox list, but I heard it somewhere else. So I'll look at that and maybe bring that up next week or something.
yeah.
Um, the thing with that one I think is that you kind of have to tailor your older brother on the left stick and keep him on the left side of the screen, and then the younger brother you have to keep on the right side of the screen. Otherwise, you get crossed over and your controlling's kind of really funny. You get really confused. So I guess it really threw people when that game kind of came out. So Um, the next one, I finished all of the story in Need for Speed, so the self-titled one. So
Yeah.
that's the one that has a prestige mode at the
Now,
end.
now I want to. Okay, story
Yeah.
for Need for Speed. Like this is the 2013 one, yeah. So
Yeah,
the
yes.
Need for Speed Unbound
Mhm.
had somewhat of a story. Payback had somewhat of a story.
Mhm.
When we say story, how loose are we talking?
Well, I mean, it was the last game that they had FMV videos for, yeah. Where they actually had real people going in and doing the acting. I never played
Did they?
some of the newer games except for the multiplayer, but it actually has like live people going in and
Okay.
I mean, for a story, every time like you go back to the garage or something, you get prompted to go back to the garage. You get a cutscene
Yeah.
either at the garage or at a club or at a milk bar of all places, and it is littered with these guys running around just drinking Monster energy drink. It is
That's
the
what. That's the
funniest thing.
true fuel of racing drivers, though.
Yeah, and
Monster Energy.
they're all just tweaking and going off at you in the screen and stuff like that. And they're like, there's either conflict or there's not, and they're all happy with you or they're not. And it's just all that buddy like group mentality stuff, like party atmosphere. But it took me about half the game to really pay attention to what was going on in the background of the scenes. And then I'm like, hang on, that's a monster. That's a monster. And everybody's just holding Monster energy drinks, and I'm just
Wait,
like, this is ridiculous.
Death
Like in
Stranding.
a milk bar. Yeah,
Death
so
Stranding's
yeah, they had
monsters as
Monster as
well.
well, didn't
Yeah.
they? They patched that out, I
Oh, they
think, with
did.
the director's cut on the PlayStation. I don't know if they added it to the PC version, but
Interesting.
there's a lot of issues with Monster at the moment trying to sue people over, the Monster
Very
name
much. Yeah.
in their
Um,
so
I don't know
but
why this jumps into my mind, but like Monster,
mm.
like I cannot stand the normal Monster drinks. But when it comes
um
to like the non-sugar,
right.
like
Okay. I like the punch one. It's like the
I
fruity kind of ones are not
that
bad. So
orange and blue can.
mm.
I
Yeah, oh
can't
yeah,
think.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
That's
that
a
one's
that's
like
one of the fruit ones.
yeah, like
So
mango, really nice.
mm.
Everything else I can't stand.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't know what I think it's like tropical punch or something, the one. It's like a
yeah,
pinky kind of can. But yeah.
and
But
the,
yeah, they all got stock standard monsters. It's all the same thing. It's not even a variety. They didn't even show off the brand. So they're just trying to keep their black and green image. So
closest thing to monster to promoting monsters other than the Supercross games. Monster,
oh well,
yeah,
I guess they kind of want to be the energy drink face of gaming, don't
yeah.
they? So yeah. So they think they own all
Just,
of that.
just find it
So
very funny. But
yeah. But yeah, then I got dragged into Exoprimal, so I didn't get a chance to do any of the
uh,
prestige events or anything
uh,
like that. So I haven't
uh,
tried them yet, so I don't actually know how difficult they are. So the other thing I started, which I haven't really brought up anywhere, but the Exoscast are doing one of their monthly events as well,
yep,
and it's like a Secret Santa where everybody gets shared around like different stuff, and it's kind of a patron-based event, so
yeah, yeah.
kind of exclusive. But they're basically my Secret Santa ended up giving me immortality to play. Like, not they didn't buy it. It's just
Yeah,
like
yeah, they
you have
just
to choose a Game
picked. Yeah,
Pass game each, and then they pick a game and you have to play it. So I got immortality
they wanted you
with
to see
that, and
boobies.
I started playing. It's the first yes, and I wanted to as well.
Okay, well, don't blame you.
So well, there you go. So anyway, so I did want to play this game
Yep.
basically. But they it's the first FMV game I've played, so I've not actually
Oh,
played
really?
anything like that before. Yeah, I've not tried any of the other ones. So have you played Immortality?
I'll be honest. I played like 10 minutes of Immortality, but I played
Okay,
like I played Late Shift. I played Shapeshifting Detective. There's some really good FMV
okay,
games out there.
okay. So are they all kind of like that, where they're doing the same kind of
Okay, so
they're
Immortality
not
from
the
my
rewind functions that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Matt has a better understanding of this, but like essentially how
Mm,
immortality is working around that mechanic, yeah. Whereas in say a game like
yes.
Shapeshifting Detective is working around the hook of that game is essentially you as the main character can shapeshift into other characters,
Mm,
and those FMV
mm,
kind of cutscenes kind of have that interaction. Late Shift is a little bit more like basic, narrative hook kind of thing, and
mm.
then going along and picking the right choice. There's
Yeah. Okay, so it's like an on rails, like pick and
yeah,
choose. It's like a choose your own
Im-
adventure in video.
immortality kind
Or
of like immortality kind of is much more
mm.
exploring that kind of mechanic.
Yeah, so I
Um,
think I mean, the longer you play Immortality, kind of the more features, I guess you could say,
hmm,
unlock. Like you do it, you're playing one way and you realize something's hidden in the scene and you go, oh, I'll do this or I'll look at this, and then you'll see something else.
yeah,
And then you'll play the scene out. You have to scrub through the scene a slightly different way to get a different result. And like when people say you can't say anything about Immortality without spoiling it,
hmm,
if it's your first time you've played an FMV game like this, it's kind of that with the mechanics. Is if
yeah,
you tell people about how to play the mechanics, you're spoiling the experience of discovery that kind of comes with like the new
hmm.
way to play the game. And then that's
Y-
kind of nice. It's kind of
yeah.
nice.
You haven't played her
To
story at all, have you?
no, no, I
Yeah,
haven't.
okay.
No.
Yeah, her story left Game Pass a little while
Mm.
ago, but I'm pretty sure it was that developer.
Yes, it was her
That
story, and they did Telling Lies as well through a different
yeah,
publisher.
yeah. I
Yeah.
can't I can't remember the mechanics of telling lies, but like her story, having the searching by the words to get to the footage you needed. Like
Ah,
immortality
okay.
is like the evolution of that,
Mm,
of
mm,
where this
mm.
kind of like F&B stuff's going. I am very. I can't say anything at the moment. Keep going.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, that's the thing. I can't really say much more about this game. I can really just say it's just a really good experience
Hmm.
to kind of see, like, you can be mesmerized by the just the little things that you find in the details as you're kind of scrubbing through the scenes, and you
Yeah.
never expect it to play through the way it plays through. But yeah, yeah. So, and yeah, so d- o- other than that, like, I mean, I've only
Yeah.
played maybe a couple of hours.
Yeah. Edge magazine
And I'd
gave it
be
a
keen to play a bit more.
Edge
So
magazine gave it a 10 out of 10 when they initially reviewed
mm,
it. Would you say this
yeah.
is like a 10 out of 10 game from what you played?
Uh, Based on not having played any others, it would be pretty close if you can do the full experience in one or two sittings.
Okay.
When I was playing it, I kind of just wanted to sit there and just play it.
Like just absorb it in
But
and
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Just
cool.
if you can absorb the whole thing as a full experience, then yeah. If it's getting broken up over time, you're kind of going to lose a little bit of that, I think.
Yeah.
So it would be close to a 10, I think. But yeah, it's really something you have to take in. But it's like 15, 20 hours, I think, on some of the reports
Yeah.
for actually
I
finishing.
wonder I wonder what
So
the first playthrough is like if you're going for like not if you're going for
mm,
like basically an 80% run.
yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm just playing through the game and just finding out things as I go.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to see how much longer it takes me to do. I don't know if there's a, I see, I don't even know if there's a definitive ending or if there's multiple endings or what's coming up with that one.
Yeah.
So, so hmm.
I need to get around to playing it. I was thinking I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'll just take it on the flight, but pretty sure that might not be a good idea.
Yeah. No,
Depends on who I'm sitting
it's
next
not,
to.
there's not a whole lot going on that would be a
Yeah.
problem. So far, there's not a whole lot that's going on that's a problem. You might, if someone's looking over your shoulder, they might think it's a bit weird, but
Yeah, yeah.
that's pretty much what I've been playing. So,
Cool.
yeah.
All right, I'll go through what I've been playing then. So yeah, going off last week's
Hmm.
podcast, I finished off Livelock. So the only stuff I really needed to do was to go through and kill a certain amount of number of enemies. That
Hmm.
achievement unlocked. The last one I needed was I think the Ven card, getting the audio logs. Basically, me and Matt tested whether we could do a chapter select, which we could. So I ended up resetting my game, deleting the save, jumping with him, did like 5 minute run just on level 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy to get done. In terms of other Games of Gold stuff, I played When the Past Was Around, which was a game developed by Immersion Studios, which made for A Space for the Unbound this year, I believe it's called. And Toge published it. So there was quite a few... because I'm doing a booth at Gamescom with Toge, there's a few names that kept on popping up that I recognized. So I was like, oh, that's cool. But essentially, you're this girl living... Like, it's no voice or anything. It's all delivered by music and like beautiful animations. You're this woman that falls in love with this owl. It's all basically just you can understand the message. Basically the owl dies at the end. Is very sad. Like, I'm very keeping it very brief. But it was like a very artistic kind of like interpretation of somebody's life, and like the impact of music and that, which I thought was pretty cool.
So like a first person
like
thing,
one of those
seeing it from
one of those like link the object to a particular thing to open it up, and like those kind of puzzle. And then I think there's like one missable achievement, which is hitting every note in the game. So it's just a note bubble that comes up, and you've got to do that for the credits as well, which is quite like stressful, but it is like a 1 hour completion. It's pretty cool. Layers of Fear, I got back to.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. So I had originally done so Layers of Fear have. I don't want to spoil. Layers of Fear has 3 endings, and the first time I played through it, I did blind playthrough, and I got the most common ending. The second ending, the one that I went back to recently first, I went and basically did all collectibles kind of guide, just, explored everything, saw the traumatic experiences. I don't want to give spoilers, but there's some stuff in this game pertaining to a child that very much... When I first played this game, I didn't have a kid, whereas then I now do, and there was some stuff that kind of like, all right, this is a little bit more horrific than what I would have thought of like back then. So I went through, did all collectibles, got the essentially all collectibles kind of ending. And then there's another ending where the monster in the game you essentially have to embrace, which I thought was a very interesting... Like, you think of any horror game that you played. Like, have you ever had to, like, embrace and run into a monster to affect an ending?
No. I mean, the concept is kind of there for a couple of things.
Yeah.
Does it have any kind of like background, like hidden meaning or anything like that to do with embracing your monster?
I mean, it delivers you what the final ending is. But yeah, I don't want to go into like essentially. I will give one spoiler. Layers of Fear is essentially like all about your life as this painter and your family and all that. And one of the situations is your wife ends up in a fire and is essentially horribly disfigured. So that leads to the kind of seeing her as a monster kind of aspect, but then choosing how you interact with that monster in the game, whether you like run away from it, whether you like run towards it and embrace it, will affect the ending. So a lot of people originally thought the ending was like the game was broken and like one of the multiple endings wasn't achievable.
Really?
Because that kind of stuff, like you weren't doing that kind of stuff. Even like going back through the TA forums, you can see there like being like a lot of back and forth at launch.
Okay, so they were trying to kind of like twist the ending in a little bit, just make it a little bit
like I think it's a very interesting take on it because I don't see much horror games where the horror is that particular, like, you know, like it's a murderous person or something. No, this is like a woman that is just essentially like really upset with the situation, and this painter has like, depending on what kind of playthrough you do, has very obsessive qualities. He's very fixated on his work.
Right.
There's like
Okay.
certain situations in the game like that can be like interpreted in different ways. Obviously, like when you get more collectibles, like a lot of the stuff leads into like a lot more backstory and that. Whereas then if you can go through Oblivious and just touch the stuff with the wife and realize how depressed and that kind of stuff as well. It kind of paints a different context to
Okay.
the story. Yeah, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in that.
I did the base game. I got the Inheritance DLC to do, but I really enjoyed it just because like it is it is one of those kind of games that you can get through like in 40 minutes, like watching a guide
Yeah.
for doing like one playthrough. Yeah. A completion is probably going to take you 10 hours, I would say, maybe 10 to 15, depending on how you're doing. But yeah, just it's one of those games that I think it like leaves you with like enough story and enough thoughts on like how some people can be like demented in their ways or push too far or just
Okay.
life can really just throw a fucking spanner in the works.
So how does that stack up? Is it something that needs a sequel?
Well,
With
it
what
has
they're
a
doing?
sequel. So
I know it has a sequel. Right.
so I was debating whether I'm going to do Laser Fear
Mhm.
too, but I need to
Mhm.
finish the DLC for this one.
Mhm.
From all the
Well,
reviews I've read, Laser Fear 2 isn't as
yeah.
impactful as the first.
And then they
And
also have, don't they have
they got
like the
the
layer of fear or something?
Layers of Fear came out this year, which is essentially
Uh,
a
uh,
remastered version of 1, 2 on the DLC,
oh,
which is
okay.
horribly
Right,
named.
I did.
But apparently that didn't really leave any wave. Like, you know, nobody's
Yeah.
really.
Well,
It'll be
I
bargaining
mean,
kind
well,
of
I thought
stuff
it
for a
was a
while.
new game. So,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
they haven't marketed it well. Um, so yeah, I'm very
Mm.
interested to see like how this. Um, I'm very interested to see how the DLC goes because it's essentially like you playing as the child after the time has passed, and basically just going through the set like same kind of assets, same house, and all that, but just reliving your childhood. So it's like the main story is essentially your lens of the painter and the wife. And the wife is a wonderful musician, so there's some like aspects around that as well. And then just the child going through and just kind of leaning towards the mother and the father and resentment there in that as well. Yeah, I haven't played much of it, so that's all I can say to that. But
Yeah, okay, cool.
I like horror is usually a genre I don't care for because I think it goes for the easy jump scares and all that. I really like games that leave you thinking though after you've put them down.
Yeah, it seems like with their games, they try to go down that road and they don't hit every time. Like,
Yeah, I don't think Blair Witch hit, for
mm,
example.
and I mean, like the medium.
I
I
think the
mean, no one
medium
had
was
a.
alright. Like I think it was very fixated on that one mechanic.
Mm,
I don't think I enjoyed it. Like going back to it now, I think like I have a more of appreciation to it, especially being like one of the first series games. But
mm.
yeah, it's one of those things that like sometimes it won't hit entirely. Sometimes it will feel like a walking sim, which a lot of these horror
Yes,
sims,
I'd
horror,
be very interested to
yeah,
see how the Silent Hill 2 game
yeah, true.
comes out. So, mm,
So yeah, that's essentially it for Games Gold stuff.
mm,
The other, like, I've actually been playing quite a bit this week. So I played Vemba, which I think I've talked about on the podcast for a while. I've been, oh, pardon me, I've been very interested in seeing how this game shaped up.
mm.
Um, look, straight off the bat, I'm going to say the only con I can come across, it is a very short story. This is a 1 hour user guide. You'll get all the achievements kind of situation. Saying that it is a damn good story, even if it is short.
Yes.
Talking about, I would say like that level of like, you know, foreign foreigners growing up in a different worlds.
I've heard it makes you hungry.
It does make you hungry. You're going through.
Yeah.
I honestly, I played this after dinner. I was
Okay.
like, all right, I'm cooking all this amazing Indian food.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna order something tonight because it's like 10 p.m. and everything's like shutting down and all that. Next day, got my butter chicken, got my naan, got roti and all that. Just having lunch. I was just like, beautiful. I had to have Indian for lunch the next day.
Yeah, look, it's just gonna push me over the edge. I'm gonna have to get some Indian if I play it. And maybe I'll have to play it every single time I want Indian.
You know what? This is one of those games that you'll just you'll sit down, you'll play it. Like this is a perfect all right, I finished work early on a Friday. I'm gonna play this for an hour. We're getting the spread of different Indian foods. But yeah, really highly recommend it. There are some missables in it, mainly pertaining to the scrolling through the phone. Use Welsh's guide. I mean, you know what to expect.
Yes.
Welsh, some very crude
I've heard
jokes,
it's
and
done a very good one. So
pacing was really good. Yeah, really recommend. Going through Exoprimal, I booted that up yesterday. Okay, so I got my arm twisted to play Age of Empires from somebody outside the achievement hunting community, so I played Age of Empires. If there's one thing you can count on me destroying other people in, it's Age of Empires. You don't challenge me to that. So
right. So this is somebody trying to even the playing field then.
Yeah. So this was playing 3-4, and then he was like, all right, nah, I don't want to play this anymore. Let's play Exoprimal. So I got my arm twisted, loaded up. I like it now.
Okay.
I have that itch that I had when I wanted to play Titanfall. And Titanfall,
Okay.
It just has that level of polish with the gameplay in that. It's not there isn't no mobility in that as much as Titanfall, where I could just jump everywhere. But I think the gunplay and all that is pretty solid.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many more surprises are coming up or if what they're adding to the game, but I mean, as I said earlier in the podcast that I got dragged into this after playing Need for Speed.
Yep.
Well, I didn't get dragged in. You're like, hey, do you want to play? And I'm like, yeah,
You want to meet
sure.
some of my friends and play? And just
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, joined another Discord server and went from there. So, we got to the end of that one level, right? And there was the skyscraper.
Yes.
That was just there at the end, and we're like, okay, what's going on? There's like a pause, and the camera pans up, and there's a huge portal in the sky, and then they just starts bleeding dinosaurs, and you're just looking at it going, what the hell is going on here?
You're just awestruck essentially. I do think there hasn't been any games like that in recent memory where it's kind of like I've just taken it, the game has allowed you to take it in. The last time I can think that happening was Life is Strange True Colors when you're going across the bridge at the start of the game and you just soak the music in. This was just a mouth open, look into the stars and see dinosaurs falling.
Just raining down on you. And I'm just like, well, yeah. So, I mean, it's just stupid fun. And hopefully this has some legs, and they can do some more creative stuff like that with it.
I do hope for I know this is going to get stale quickly. I can already predict it's going to get stale, and I really hope they've got some way to address that because the main gameplay loop I think is solid enough to a point. The gunplay feels good, the mechanics feel good. I very much worry, though, it's going to be something that I jump off after 10 hours. There won't be any drive to continue to push it. I really hope we have some different kind of... I'm just throwing stuff off the top of my head, but a 5v5 dinosaur mode or something. You can become an enemy dinosaur. Sorry, you can become a dinosaur and basically destroy your enemies. Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to the the PvP element. So that might be a very like asking a bit much, but
Well,
I
I
do want
mean,
some interesting takes.
there. One of the things that kind of came up in the chat while we were doing it last night is like if there was like a dino hunt mode where you had
Yeah.
a PvP mode where two teams were hunting one dino down, and then you had to compete to kill this dino. I mean, everything happens individually,
I
right?
I will say I
So
love the fact that it came off me making discussion. I made a comment about the tracker for the achievements, just like
yeah,
damn Capcom, like all I want is to be able to like, 1,000 kills of dinosaur. Let me have the
yeah.
percentage tracker go up here. And then my other friend that isn't familiar with achievements and that as much is just like, oh yeah, Dino Tracker would sound cool.
Yeah. And like my mind just went straight to the original Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
It's just like tracking dinosaurs through the wilderness or something like that, you know.
Mm.
So, but yeah, if they had more modes, maybe they have stuff we don't know about. But if you, yeah, they just because you can see what the other team's doing, right? But it's
Yeah.
all completely separated. They're just shadows in the distance doing their stuff, and you're doing your stuff. But it'd be nice to actually have some full-on
The start of
competitiveness.
the match doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
That whole lead up until like it just feels so tacked on.
I like it, but when you get, 6 or 7 games in and you've got people in your party going, "Oh, I don't want to do this mode,"
Yeah.
then you know that people are getting bored way too fast.
Yeah.
So I'm still having fun with it, and I've got no problem playing with it at the moment. So more than happy to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, the matches drag on for a bit, and you've got to keep people engaged. Otherwise, that's what stops them.
Mm.
So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. The two other games I've been playing, I have decided on the next massive thing after like, my longer 200-hour completion kind of stuff. I'm doing Wasteland 3 with Stubby.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes.
well, that's
150, 200
great.
hours.
More people need to play Wasteland 3, including me, because I have not.
I
So,
didn't realize it was co-op, and I didn't
oh,
realize.
I didn't know either.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
I've only dived the Wasteland series. I've played a little bit more of one, maybe like half an hour to an hour,
Mm-hmm.
but the other ones essentially was to the first achievement, which I think was just like dying or hitting a party team member or something during the Game Pass challenge. So yeah, with it, we've been debating on different co-op games. He's a massive fan of turn-based games, so we thought this would be a really good fit. Now, I've always said how much of a fan I am of InXile's community stuff, yeah? Their Twitter account, X account, whatever you want to call it, it goes off.
Yeah,
One of the things that they did recently was they changed InXile to be in Twitter logo, like the Twitter bird
the Twitter
tile,
bird. Yeah, I
which is
pointed that
amazing.
out to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you pointed it out to me.
you may or
So,
may not have seen it already, but
I had seen it before, but I did appreciate that you pointed it out. Just stuff like that is amazing, yeah?
mm,
What I didn't know is that carries out throughout the games. Wasteland 3 has some really fucking funny moments. And I was not like, you see Wasteland on the cover and you're like, all right, depressing, like dark dystopian kind of, turn-based game, yeah? No, there are some like generally like laugh out loud kind of moments there. Me and Stubby playing this in co-op, we're having like an absolute blast because I'll bring chaotic energy to the table and just start shooting people, and like I was half following a guide, half just messing around with what you can do with those kind of RPG mechanics. And it was we went to a strip joint we went to a casino in the game that had a strip joint up top, and there's some like quest lines that you have to like convince people to give you passwords and all that kind of stuff. There was like there's like some different drugs you can give people in the game to basically give you information. A lot of just stupid funny references. What else was there?
you can make mistakes in that game, though, can't you?
Yeah,
And
well, you can
just
do save
lose people.
manipulation
Yeah,
and that kind of
yeah.
stuff.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure there's an achievement for killing like everybody in a single town, like in a specific town kind of thing. What else is there? There's like you messing around mechanics. There's you picking certain party members. I think it's like very wide open to what you can achieve in the game. But then we're trying to go through optimal and create saves at the same time. We're trying to like RPG kind of specs, make sure like we've got all our bases covered. So we're doing like mechanical that right and having particular weapons. There was one guy that we had to take down, which was putting on a fake Irish accent. And just like you could find like collectibles in the form of voice recordings of him just adapting his English voice to Irish.
Oh,
And
that's really interesting.
it's just like him just butchering it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
There was what else was there? There was this guy in the casino. We're essentially playing on the easiest difficulty first, so we can get a feel for the game, understand the mechanics, and then we're going to go through on the hardest difficulty. Casino, there's like a computer that you need access to do like part of the mission, but the guy will just like keep on telling you off. Gets to the third time and he's just like, "No, you're dead." And then just like, "All right, cool. This is gonna be a tough fight." Turn around, one hit him. Just really, just I know it's not stupid in the sense of it being unrealistic. Like, not silly humor. Like, it's just... What's the right word? Averting expectations. Kind of stuff.
Okay.
But yeah. I've only played 6 or 7 hours, I'd probably say. Really enjoyed it. But yeah, we're just going to be working on that over time. Last game I really want to mention that I don't know what compelled me to go back to it. It was on the Hall of Fame list as well of games I need to go back to. But I booted up Rage 2.
Oh, I did see you playing that
And
for a bit.
I don't know why I had such a negative... I don't want to say negative perception, but I kind of like had a perception.
The game
It was like a
at
5
the
out of 10.
time already had a negative reception when it came out. It had some issues, but I mean, the people that were talking it up pretty well.
It's fun.
So...
It's really goddamn fun. The only main issue I have with the game is not the UI, like the main menus and that are really clunky. Like very easy to see delays like in swapping between tabs, that kind of stuff. But when you're actually in the midst of it, it is very much like, all right, Mad Max, Cyberpunk, they've had a baby.
Yeah, I tried to play the first game and I didn't really get into it.
Seconds, visuals, absolutely amazing. It's very much not I wouldn't call it a story-driven game. It's very much in that, like, go do, you got 3 different leaders, do this type of quest to complete this part of the map and that kind of stuff. But, like, I'm out there having, massive fights with giant sandworms, and I'm just, taking down convoys with machine guns, just knocking cars off the road. I'm doing racing. What else is there? Going through like sewer. Like it has like very Outer World vibes as well. Like in terms of a just open world. Yeah. Like,
is it the kind of game that you'll be able to finish the story and then keep working on it, or
I believe so. There is a DLC. I actually can access the DLC at any time. I got quite confused to how to get back because it isn't really signposted well that you can go back to the sewers until a certain mission. And I couldn't see much online. And I think there was I can't remember if there was one other thing I need to look up, but I'm just in terms of like how the gameplay feels and all that, like mech suit, slam, hit, that kind of stuff. Incredibly fun. I think it's like a 40 to 50 hour completion. But
not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
It is one of those games that I think it's going to be very... What's the right word? It's going to be very easy to do the majority of the list. like in a typical like 20 to 30 hour sense. But the Iron Man mode and there's like a hardest difficulty kind of thing.
They had that in the first game as DLC. Is it the same thing?
Yeah,
It's like the
title
Wastelander mode or something?
title
Or
update, I think.
yeah, yeah. They had like an
Um,
extra hard mode.
and the only other thing I want to mention too, the cheats work funny. There are cheats that disable your achievements, but I believe it's either the first one or the first two don't. And the first one actually doubles the amount of Fenrite crystals that you can get in the game because you need to collect. Basically, every time you kill stuff and open loot chests and all that, you collect these crystals. You spend those crystals to unlock the section of the upgrade that you need, whether it be like a weapon upgrade or a exosuit kind of upgrade. And then you need cogs or that particular material to complete the upgrade.
Yeah, and
So
how
it's like
do
a
you,
first
are they
tier,
just in the
second tier.
world? You just go and find them in the world, or do you kill enemies?
Yeah, like Fenrite's like drop from certain enemies or certain like chests, that kind of stuff. Like the double thing really helps. But yeah, the cogs and that are like quest lines and
Right, so
that
very
yeah.
targeted, specific
Yeah.
kinds. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know, when Mad Max's server shut down, like I really wanted to go back to it, but I knew that unattainable, like that discontinued achievement was there. This is
I
really scratching that itch.
I have the enough done in that game to have that unlocked, but I know that if something happens to my save, I'm screwed. So I
Yeah.
really do need to go back and finish Mad Max, because if I do the playthrough, I'll be able to unlock that achievement. But
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
like 70s around launch and that. But yeah, it like just vehicular combat, Mad Max kind of style. That yeah. And then there is an aspect of, I don't mean this as an insult, but like the Mad Moxie kind of, arena kind of fight, but they're not as
yeah,
long.
the stuff that I don't like in Borderlands.
Yeah, but like it's like a 10-minute to 15-minute kind
Yeah.
of thing compared, so it's
Yeah.
not too bad.
Yeah.
I'm actually to the point where I think like, depending on how hard the other runs are, it's probably going to be a very easy one for me to recommend.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Fair.
But yeah, that's essentially all I've been playing. Probably be talking about a little bit more Rage 2 next week as well. I put the leaderboard in before, but it looks like it has disappeared. Anyway, let me bring it up. We'll go through leaderboards next.
Yeah, you will have a fresh leaderboard. Anybody that earned achievements to overtake then will know.
All right, so in third, we've got Martel 18, 20,000. The last thing he's been working on is Merge and Blade, which I didn't talk about. I've been really enjoying that as well. I mean, it's just a merge game with not fighting mechanics, like auto battler mechanics. Jimbot UK has 23,425, and the last achievement he had was Warhammer Vermintide 2. And Mad Eye Pad Eye on 41,975, playing Spiderheck, which I also need to go and do at one point as well. Cool. Completion shoutouts. So we're going to add a new thing in this week where we're going to talk through a review of the week. Go for everybody else's first. Drunken Monkeys did Diablo 4, which massive props. I've still got 3 achievements I need to go back to. Moonzom did Batman Telltale and Stacking, which pretty sure both of those games are gold. I know Telltale
yes,
Batman
at
was.
least one of the one version of Batman was, and
Yeah.
Stacking's the 360.
Yeah.
One that's got the DLC included, I think, in Game Pass now.
Yeah. I need to do Stacking as well. Jeez. Looking for L4D.
We got a lot of
kills.
Double Find in here today.
Yeah, a lot of Double Find this week. Full Throttle Remaster, Day of the Tentacle, and Fractured Minds. Super Bob went to Achievement Fest and did a whole bunch of 360 games, including the Japanese games that he got access to there. Rapture did Insurgency Sandstorm, as well as Castle Walker with the Easy 1K update. Shattered Sly did COD Black Ops. Firehawk did the Solitaire Conspiracy. Heavy Moogles did Ari and the Secret of Seasons. And Lord Mud did Halo 5. Keo, would you like to run us through the first review of the week?
Yes, so first review of the year. Well, not
year.
the first one, but this is the thing that we're going to be doing probably weekly now, if you could put in your reviews. And we'll try and shout out the best one, or the one that we want to.
We'll try and shout out one on the pod.
So, this is by Shattered Sly for his Black Ops run through, and he says a lot of stuff can be said about Black Ops, and it's all positive. It's the best game from the entire Black Ops series and a top 3 Call of Duty. The campaign is incredibly unique, and I'd go as far as saying that the best Call of Duty campaign. But Modern Warfare 2 and COD 4 keep it competitive. It also brings one of the best multiplayer experiences ever, not to mention it has the first of what should have been the only Nuketown.
Should have been the only Nuketown. Yeah. No. They're gonna keep milking that until it's.
All right.
Yep. Keep going.
Zombies doesn't see it peak yet in Black Ops 1, but it still has a well-rounded catalog. Kino de Toten is the most overrated map of all time, and die on its hill over that. But it's still solid. Ascension introduced the first Easter egg ever and is enjoyable despite being easy. Shangri-La is all right. That's the only one that you actually need 4 people to do the Easter egg in.
Yep.
With that. And Call of Dead is my personal favorite, and I love the ambience of Moon. Yes. So what do you think of our little review there, Mr. Shadowless Edge?
I will say Black Ops is honestly it is my favorite campaign.
Mm-hmm.
It is also the first Call of Duty I ever got into. I used to love doing the wager bet matches. Like, I still remember to this day being a teenager playing online for one of the first times, doing Sticks and Stone match, throwing a tomahawk across map in the last few seconds of match and bankrupting a friend and getting a phone call like 5 minutes after, just absolutely like going off at me. Just absolutely amazing. But yeah, like, I really enjoyed all the zombies matches. Like, I love Kino. I think Kino is like one of my favorite maps. It is definitely an overused map, but I wouldn't call it overrated. And then the only one I originally played was Call of the Dead. I never played Shangri-La and Ascension starting off.
Yes.
Until I jumped in later on. But yeah, I would say one of the best Call of Duty games I've played as well. And the story is fantastic. Like, a little bit of war, a little bit of espionage.
Yeah, look, a couple of years ago, so yeah, I had a whole year where I was really just doing Destiny 2 and Call of Duty Easter eggs. So, and my aim was to watch as many Call of Duty YouTube video Easter egg runs as possible and do as many Easter eggs solo as I could. I'm not, and like, I didn't learn that many of them, but the ones that I spent time with, I spent a lot of time with them. We went through Shangri-La with a bunch of people. Kiku helped us with that. And Call of the Dead's, yeah, I would say Call of the Dead is probably, I mean, if you can play that by yourself, it's a bit of a wild ride, that one.
Yeah.
That map is intense. If you really just don't know what you're doing. The other stuff is kind of like Shangri-La's a bit of a loop. You can only really, you'll always circle around and stuff, but yeah. I don't really remember Ascension a whole lot though, but yeah,
Ascension I think is like really easy to get high rounds from memory, but I haven't played that much of it.
Yeah, but if I spent any time on that, I probably spent more time on the Moon than any of the other Easter eggs, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I played pretty much every version of the Moon, as much as I could solo. So
yeah, and I'd love a remastered Black Ops 1, just for the campaign. I really
Well,
like Black Ops 1 and 2's campaigns.
they're closing in on it. They can't have too many more gaps to fill before they start redoing these Black Ops games.
Yeah, I wonder if Treyarch's actually
I mean, they
decided whether they will.
mm,
But like, are all the studios essentially just helping with the Modern Warfare kind of? I don't know. I honestly think Black
yeah,
Ops is better than. Yeah.
well, I mean, I did all of Cold War and Vanguard pretty much solo. All the
No, I
zombies
gotta
and
do
everything
Cold.
like
I do
that. And
Cold War.
I thought they were still great. They were still really
Hmm.
good. I think the only Easter egg in Cold War I didn't do was the very last map, and it's because I didn't put anywhere near as much time in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so where they started to put the stories into these um the Easter eggs and stuff like that, I mean, yeah, it really, really got interesting. Moon was great.
Yeah.
Loved going through Moon and seeing that the final bit of that story. So
Yeah. Moon. Man, we need a remake. I need a reason to.
or we could just go back and play some Call of Duty.
No, I need achievements.
I have every
I
single
can't justify it.
Call of Duty game installed on my hard
I
drive,
gotta finish.
except for the new ones because they're too big.
I gotta finish
So,
Cold War and 4, and I gotta
mm,
do.
yeah.
I gotta twist Matt's arm about doing Modern Warfare 2. Anyway, let's move along. Thank you, Shadowless for putting that one in there. Um, word challenge. Matt had notes about this. I'm trying to find them. Oh
Yes.
yeah, word challenge. So yeah, the word challenge has been guessed by Natalator. It was indeed skatebird, which I am sure you can hit. You can hit Matt up on that. I'm sure he will be able to sort that out for you if he hasn't already. And then yeah, if you want to go and check out the word challenge, yeah, there's a cool little the budgie doing a skateboard, doing a Tony Hawk.
Huh.
Anyway, but yeah,
Yeah, so congratulations, and I'm sure we'll have a new word challenge for you soon.
cool. Patreon shoutouts. We'll quickly go through Lee Howard, Mikhail KV, Natalator, Mad Lefty 2097, Admiral Awesome, Heavy Moogles, Kung Fu Skills, Hack and Pone, Cavalier 07, Old Mate Clown, Mark B, and McLovin Legend. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to do the podcast or keep the lights running, so we really do thank you. Yeah, pretty much just going through the motions now. Discord, we have a Discord, discord.io/hologamers. Come hang out with us, talk about achievements, talk about your thoughts on Exoprimal. Come, tell me off that for loving Black Ops 1 as much as I do compared to the other CODs. Yeah, and just come help us organize sessions for Crisis 3, which servers are shutting down.
Oh yeah, that's something that we started doing today as well, wasn't it? So
We can talk about them like much
yeah,
more
we
next week.
will next week.
Twitch, if you're not aware, we do this podcast live on Twitch at Xbox All the Gamers. We usually do it Friday nights, AEST around 6:30 or 8:30 NZT. Or you can catch up with the podcast on YouTube or all your popular podcast apps. If you want to contact us, you can contact us by emailing us at hologamerspodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit us up at Twitter at hologamerspod. I do check the Twitter account sometimes now. If you want to help the podcast, you can subscribe on iTunes and other platform podcasts such as Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, etc. You can leave a review, tell your friends, retweet our tweets, or X our Zeets, or Z.X's. I can't, yeah.
Now it's just getting dirty.
Handcrafted letters to Elon. You write in questions to the show, and we'll endeavor to answer them, whether that be through the email or joining Discord as well. Keo, if people want to get in contact with you, where can they hit you up?
Okay. So, I stream on Twitch under Keo Live at Home, and those notifications for those streams come up on Twitter at Keo Live at Home. And if you want to catch the VODs for the streams that I do, you can actually go to at HTFG Play on YouTube for all my videos. So,
yeah.
What about you?
You can pretty much find me at Shadowless Edge on everything. Twitch is Shadowless Edge. Twitch and Instagram is Shadowless Edge _ or just hit me up in Discord. I'm usually on playing something or another. Just let me know. Otherwise, that's essentially been episode 87. We will catch you guys next week.
All right, have a good night.
Bye.